If you ain't delaying, are you really Chapter 11 bankruptcy auction banging? Believe it or not, it's been something like 250 days since Bang Energy filed voluntary petitions for protection under Chapter 11 of the Bankruptcy Code. That might seem like a long time, but Chapter 11 bankruptcy cases, especially complex ones involving creditor claims in the billion-dollar range, are not quick. And that doesn't even consider the hostile takeover element that's relatively unique here. But this isn't a piece of content about how the Bang Energy bankruptcy proceedings have amounted to almost 1,500 document filings that equal tens of thousands of total pages, thus likely making this one of the most expensive cases in Florida bankruptcy court history. Instead, I want to focus on the recent delays to the bankruptcy auction announcement. To be honest, it's hard to keep up with just how many delays we've had, but it's probably like four or five at this point. Now, there are two schools of thought on why this has been happening. The first one revolves around the theory that Bang Energy was such an attractive asset that the initial bankruptcy auction was filled with many strong and diverse bids. And so, to make the best decision for creditors, it would require a longer review period. And that makes sense, right? This theory was supported by respected media property Beverage Business Insights, which mentioned it in a May 26 tweet. But before that, and what may have influenced BBI, was that Bang Energy founder and ex CEO Jack Oak and I created a YouTube video together that was uploaded to my channel on May 22nd. In this content, we covered a diverse menu of potential acquirers for Bang Energy that range from major beer companies to energy drink competitors and even an outside the box name like Altria. It was an insightful way to explain the diversity of possible interested parties. That being said, I've been adamant Monster Beverage Corporation would become the owner of Bang Energy since I dropped that prediction bombshell in a mid March piece of content. This hypothesis has since been supported by numerous beverage industry investment analysts, thought leaders, and media properties. So, with my confidence running on overdrive about the Monster Energy acquisition prediction, something is telling me that the most recent announcement delay to the Bang Energy bankruptcy auction results is for a different reason. Maybe there were, at first, many strong and diverse bids that required extra review time, but they likely whittled that down to the strongest interested parties and asked for like a kind of like best and final bid. So it would be odd to again and again need more review time for that reason. I think the extra review time is now coming from an outside party, which can only mean that Monster Energy is indeed one of the final bidders. Something I hadn't noted in the earlier content was the potential regulatory hurdle that Monster Energy would face because of its market leadership position in the US energy drinks market. So, with the current chair of the Federal Trade Commission wanting to diligently review all mergers for antitrust concerns, that's where my game theory brain is taking me at the current time to explain the Bang Energy auction announcement delay. Agree? Disagree? Comment below because I'd love to hear your thoughts. But maybe for this second half of the content, I'll talk through a few hypothetical scenarios based on what would happen next if each of the different diverse categories of acquirers won the Bang Energy bankruptcy auction. Firstly, let's talk about what Bang Energy has for total assets. That would be the intellectual property, goodwill of the brand, and kind of all things associated with that. About $250 million in sales, producing DSD and retail relationships, everything involved with manufacturing and distribution facilities, even though some of that has been sold with or without a leaseback agreement, an owned DSD network, but from what I've heard, that was cut by Huron Consulting, and then human capital. So Let's cover what could happen next if the first group, we'll call them the energy drink competitors, that obviously includes Monster Energy, would win the bankruptcy auction. Since Bang Energy would be a bolt on acquisition for these interested parties, it would create massive cost synergies, which is just a positive business term that means operating cost savings expected after the merger of two companies. Bang Energy would be another brand in the portfolio for these interested parties. They would likely keep everything involved with the manufacturing and distribution facilities, plug Bang Energy into existing DSD network, and rebuild some of those retail relationships that have kind of been broken over these last kind of year or so. And in some cases, might even reinvigorate the own DSD capabilities for special projects. Think like Monster and Canarchy purposes. But cost synergies also have an inversely negative meaning to one asset class, human capital. You almost always have major resource duplication at all layers of the business that would result in job losses. Similarly, this job loss effect would mostly happen in the same way if other categories of acquirers won the Bang Energy bankruptcy auction. Someone like a non alcoholic beverage company like PepsiCo or a major beer company like AB InBev would also have huge cost synergies if they won the Bang Energy bankruptcy auction. Now, where that job loss effect wouldn't happen as prevalently would be if the bankruptcy auction winner didn't already have existing beverage operations. While lots of different types of businesses fit into that bucket, it would most likely come in the form of private equity that has beverage industry experience. That was something that I briefly mentioned in that previous content that I did create with Jack Oak. In this case, Bang Energy would be right sized across all aspects of the business, but private equity would need to keep much of the existing human capital and infrastructure to sustain business activity during the transformation process. But I just want to end on some quick final thoughts. Whether this is still Monster Energy's auction to lose or they get beat out by a dark horse bidder, we could finally get an announcement as early as this week. Or if recent history repeats itself, another delay. Regardless, I'll be back with more updates whenever something substantial happens in this Bang Energy bankruptcy case. But I hope you enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, consider hitting the like button to support me. Also, help me get to my new short term goal of 3,000 subscribers by hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to see you join me on this journey, but we need to fix the fact that basically 80% of you that are watching this YouTube video right now are not subscribed to my channel, and that makes me extremely sad. But I do want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.